Hello, Sandman Nation, and welcome back. We celebrated 1 year of podcasts last week, and now we're rolling into episode 53. One more than the number of years I've got on me at 52. The jury's still out on whether me or the podcast has aged better, but I'll tell you this, we both still look damn good, even with Pat on board. So let's fire it up, boys. Year 2 is here, and it's officially time to enter Sandman Sports. With me are the two finest co-hosts in all the land. Mr. Pat Platt, also known as the Minnesota Kid or Pontiac Pat, because he loves Maserati Marv so much. I think that could stick. What do you think? And then Bill, the Sandman. Bill Sanders is the king of Sandman Nation. If you don't know that by now, guys, I don't know what rock you've been living under. This is the guy even Ferris Bueller says is his hero. And with year 2, guys, a few changes are coming with it. We have a new sponsor, which we'll share in a little bit during Hot Takes. And you guys don't even know this. But guys, in year 2, and this was a little inspired by listening to Pat's episode 1 game that we shared clips of last week. But guys, I'm going to start each podcast like right off the bat, like right now, asking each of you one super random question. Okay. These guys haven't heard of these, no prep needed. It's going to be off the cuff. Pat, are you ready?
Always.
All right, here we go. Pat, if you had to be the sidekick to one of these superheroes, not date them or do anything sexual, but actually help them in their superhero endeavors, who are you picking? The righteous Wonder Woman or the morally ambiguous Catwoman?
Ooh, I like Catwoman. Yep, definitely Catwoman.
Yeah.
Especially if it's
Bill.
Anne Hathaway, who played Catwoman in Batman.
Dude, that was good. Okay, Bill, you don't get that one. Bill,
Okay.
you get this one. I want to know one thing that made you angry this past week.
Oh, just one?
Yeah. Yes. And
The Mariners.
The Mariners. They did kind of, yeah.
The Mariners. But second, and it's a close, this is my 1A, 1B, is that freaking Bob McIntyre couldn't close the deal on Sunday and cost me $5,000.
I'm actually shocked that's not your number one. That's how big of an
Yeah,
fan
the
you
Mariners
are,
hurt more. The
Yeah.
Mariners actually hurt more. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for asking that, though. Is this first thought, best thought, Eric
it's not
Bierman
really
style?
first. No, it's kind
okay.
of. It's just, I just want to get you guys talking, man. I want to hear your lovely angelic voices right from the beginning and just get the vibe going immediately. So that's what we're doing. So, well, guys, our social media presence and our website never make people angry, but rather it brings so much joy and happiness to their lives. And speaking of joy and happiness, football is heating up. And we just hired 2 more freelance writers. So the content is going to continue to churn out all season long on both college and pro games. Our fantasy football coverage is growing too. So check that out. Of course, Major League Baseball is just about a month or so away from their postseason. So that's still pretty hot stuff. And we have coverage on all the other sports. So check us out at sandmansports.com. We'll also be welcoming back, guys, our very own St. Louis Syndicate soon. They'll be doing 3 regular video series, I think 3 each week again. So that's awesome. We'll be bringing our Sandman Legend picks back every week. Actually, I'm going to publish our very first article tomorrow, I think, that details all of our Sandman Legends, which the 3 of us are part of that, our preseason predictions for both pro and college. So check that out. Last year, guys, that group did very well overall. So I would tune in for those to pad your wallets. I am personally excited to be launching a new weekly video series called Monday Morning I Want My Quarterback, which will be an early week look at the sports weekend that was and a little peek ahead, of course, with some betting sprinkled in. And I'll be throwing out some occasional Bierman's Best Bet videos too. So lots to look forward to this season. Bill, not to put you on the spot, but with golf season winding down and Crush Fade, you got any plans to do anything either video related or article related for football?
Yeah, I think I got to get right into that groove as well. I mean, I love that idea for you. The one thing that we have talked about, and maybe we'll get into this a little bit more later, but is plan on recording based on a quick snippet for each one of the pools that we're going to launch so that people can hear in my words,
Mm,
like, this is why this type of pool is so fun. Maybe
yeah.
walk some people through the functionality so they can see all of the amazing improvements. I mean, we keep getting this incredible feedback from people that are checking out the site for the first time. And that's something that I hadn't really thought of is we have a whole bunch of people that had not played golf or March Madness. They were waiting for football season. So now they're just getting onto the site for the first time and they're seeing all these massive improvements from the old experiences. And it's really cool to hear that feedback. But that sort of quick video series, I think, coming out in the next
Okay.
couple weeks ahead of
Good.
football.
You've checked out the new site, right, Pat?
Yeah.
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 It's
It looks
gonna
good.
be
Looks
awesome.
really good.
It's gonna be really good. Craig's even working on some more improvements today even. He was just sending us some cool stuff. So
New layouts, very cool.
it's going to be awesome. So be sure, everyone, to visit our website all season long, download our app, register for our newsletter, and follow us on all of our social media at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And again, our website is SammyandSports.com. Okay, gentlemen. So in my most recent six pack, I wrote about me going to 7 concerts in a 10-day span over the last couple weeks. Yes, that is right. We had a country music festival 2 miles from our house. That was 4 straight days. Then last week I went to Columbus for a concert with Brady. We saw Train perform after a Reds game the following day. And then this past weekend, Jamie and I went up to Michigan to see one of our favorite bands, Goo Goo Dolls, up there. So I am exhausted, but I do love concerts. They were all super fun. So my question in the opening is simple. Just what are some of the most memorable concerts you guys have ever been to? It doesn't necessarily have to be the best, although they can be, but just memorable. Maybe it was your first one, maybe something happened there that you'll always remember. Maybe it was the last performance of that band or singer. Maybe the weather was bad. But whatever reason, just would love to name some of our most memorable concerts and why. So, Pat, what do you got, my friend?
Well, my first concert ever was Steve Miller Band.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
at the
That is
Minnesota
way
State
better than
Fair.
mine.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was like 1994. Best shows though, Pearl Jam at Wrigley last year was phenomenal. It was great to finally see Pearl Jam.
Oh my God, that would be
Black
good, especially at Wrigley.
Crows, loved the Black Crows. They were awesome. The National is a band that I like. I saw them at the Armory, this place called the Armory, which is a really cool venue in the cities. There's a Minnesota band, Golden Smog, at the Palace Theater was good. Neil Young at the Orpheum, though. Neil Young at the Orpheum was awesome. This was only about 4 or 5 years ago, but he was on it. He was on point. His voice sounded amazing. He had about 4 different pianos, 8 different guitars, and he just sounded fantastic. Probably, I saw Big Head Todd at Red Rocks. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
With my kids, that was kind of their first concert experience, and Dave Matthews at Alpine Valley was good, but probably one of my favorite ones was Alabama Shakes at Paisley Park, and I got to see them, and then Prince came out for a song and just shredded the guitar, and that was it. He just one song, he came out, left, and then but Alabama Shakes is fantastic.
So I'm getting the feeling you're a big concert guy. You love going to concerts.
I do. I haven't been to one in a while. I kind of, I've just been working a lot. A concert, Pat, is a completely different animal. So I get after it a little bit. And my kids saw a little bit of that when we went to Red Rocks, but they had fun. They loved it. They were like, "Dad, oh my God, I didn't realize you were fun to be around." So that was interesting. But yeah, I do. I love concerts. Big fan. So
have you been to any just horrible ones?
Stephen Marley, I really liked him, and I saw him at First Avenue, and he was uninspired.
Yeah,
that was a
Is
bad
that
show.
in the Bob Marley family tree?
It's Bob's kid. Yeah,
Bob's
Stephen.
kid. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
nice.
awesome.
I don't know.
Is Paisley Park a cool venue? I didn't realize that it was.
It's basically a huge, almost like a warehouse, empty warehouse with a stage, and there's a basketball hoop because Prince was a huge basketball guy. And I almost didn't go to the show. I worked all day, and I wanted to go so bad because I heard they were playing, and my wife's like, "Just go. You don't do anything fun. Just get off your butt and go. So I rode my bike over there. It's like a mile away,
Yeah.
and pulled my bike up, and I was like, where do you put your bikes? And the bouncers are looking at me like, I don't, who fucking rides a bike here? And then, so I ditched it in a bush and behind a bush and just went in by myself and loved it though. It was a great show. I'm glad I went. And I
That's
saw,
cool.
good to say I saw Prince before he died. It was about
Yeah,
only a few
that's
months before he went. So
one I never got to saw. That would have been
Yeah.
awesome. What about you, Bill?
Yeah, my first concert was John Denver at the Seattle Coliseum. My parents took me, and I think I was 3. So, but I swear I remember the concert. Now I know that's not true, but it's just weird how my mind has it throughout my life. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the John Denver show. Then I was looking it up today. I'm like, no, that was 76. That's not, I don't remember that. But that was my first official concert. Apparently it was amazing. RIP John Denver. Worst concert, absolutely without question, Jack Johnson. If you guys know
Oh my
him,
gosh. I'm
yeah.
really surprised to hear that.
at the Gorge. Really like Jack's music. And we were so excited to go to the Gorge Amphitheater, which is this amazing spot looking out over the Columbia River, sun setting. Just, you can't beat the beauty of this place. It's unbelievable. I really want to go to Red Rocks as well, Pat.
I do too.
I
Yeah.
would love to see a show there. Haven't been. I've heard that's incredible. So anyway, Jack Johnson, we really liked his music, but it was just amazing how uninspiring he was as a performer. Just barely spoke to the crowd. It's just, and his music is slower a little bit, and so there was no energy. It was just one of the weirdest shows I've ever been in such a beautiful setting. Anyway, that was disappointing. The best concert I ever went to was Lincoln Park at the Moore
Mm.
Theater in Seattle. And if you guys have remember the Pearl Jam video where Eddie Vedder is like climbing on the pipes above the stage, and I'm thinking, is
Uh-huh.
it Even Flow? I want to, or Alive? I can't remember. Off their 10 album, and just anyway, amazing, cool, small venue. Do you guys remember Candlebox? Do you remember
Love
that?
Candlebox. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
saw
yeah.
them saw them at the Showbox in downtown Seattle. Again, very small, intimate. Pat mentioned Big Head Todd, and I think I told this story on a previous podcast, but I went down to Eugene, Oregon to visit my one of my best friends, Rachel, and we went to this. She's like, "Oh, we got to go to this show," and it was this small band, Dave Matthews Band, opening for Big Head Todd, and so
Oh,
and it was like they're literally just like 20 feet from me on this small tiny little venue in downtown Eugene. So it's cool to see bands in small little venues like that. So those were just a few of my highlights. Very
So
cool.
my first concert was similar to yours, Bill. I was a little older than 3. I might have been 8 or 9, and I do remember, but my parents took me. It was a Neil Diamond concert,
Mm,
but it was
nice.
I'm not kidding, it was a midnight concert. Literally started at midnight. And for my parents, I mean, I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they took me. I mean, I was exhausted. And I mean, no 8-year-old kid wants to listen to Neil Diamond. And so I just remember that was kind of kind of miserable. So thanks, mom and dad.
Everywhere
Not
around the
not
world.
exactly. Yeah,
Coming to
he's got some
America.
okay songs, but as an 8-year-old, I didn't quite appreciate that. So I
One of
did
my
actually see.
earliest memories, Bierman, was my parents getting all dressed up to go to Neil Diamond, and that was the only show they ever went to,
Yeah,
ever.
huh.
Like they
dude.
never went to concerts, and it was
I
Neil
think my
Diamond.
parents are probably a little older than yours, but just that age group, yeah. I mean, they love Neil Diamond. I think my parents like Barry Manilow right around that too. So anyway, I also not much later, a few years after that, I saw Michael Jackson
Oh
live, like
wow.
in the mid '80s. So that was pretty cool, actually. That was his pretty big heyday time. Uh, a few of my favorite. So I've gone to a few Bare Naked Ladies concerts. Love
Mm-hmm.
those. Just a great party and just great music. I love their music. The worst concert I've ever been to, and then I'll share my favorite. I actually walked out of this concert, and
Oh wow.
it was about 7 or 8 years ago. It was here in Cincinnati at our open air summer concert place called Riverbend with Jamie, and it was like a easy breezy Friday night or something. We're like, Chicago's playing. Like Chicago, they got tons of hits, you know, go sit on the lawn, put a chair out there, it was cheap. I mean, they were terrible, guys. Like, we literally left
Really?
after, like, 7 or 8 songs. I still like Chicago, like, I will still listen to their songs. I've always liked them, but 3 problems with this. 1, they have no original members anymore, and they
Mm.
didn't back then. I mean, just no originals. They're all really freaking old. And 3, they just all suck now. I mean, they did not sound good. Like, it was you don't go to a concert to
That's
listen
shocking.
to
No Peter
mediocre
Cetera?
singing. No, Peter Cetera
N
was not there. No,
Huh.
no.
Is it and this
Yeah.
wasn't like a cover band? This is
Oh, no,
actually
no,
labeled
it's Chi
Chicago.
oh, yeah, I mean, Chicago still exists, but it's
That's
all
weird.
new guys. They've had new, shuffling in and stuff, so, yeah.
It's kinda
Best
like the
concert I've
Grateful
ever
Dead. The Grateful Dead keep shuffling. They're gonna keep shuffling people through.
Yeah. One of the best concerts I've ever been to, probably my favorite, was The Killers. They're one of my favorite bands. Saw
Ooh,
them
I like
back in
that.
2013 and
In
lo
Vegas?
no, so they're one of my favorite bands, and I love Brandon Flowers. He was an awesome lead singer, but honestly, what made this so cool was we actually saw it down in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry. The Killers
Oh,
played the
wow.
Grand Ole Opry, which is by far the best concert venue I've ever been to. It's so intimate. There is not a bad seat in the house, except when you are seated directly behind an 8-foot man, which Jamie and I literally were that night. We are outside waiting to go in, and there's the tallest man I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. Jamie can come on and vouch for me. And we're joking. We're like, God, that would suck if that guy said, whoever that guy sits in front of, right in front of Jamie, who's like 5'3". This guy, she was pregnant, so she couldn't drink either. He was standing the whole time. And so obviously, like, we were able to move a little bit. We were right on the aisle, so we were able to, she saw it. And I mean, even with this 8-foot man in front of her and not being able to drink, she still will say it was also one of her favorites. But for me, I loved it. I did drink. But the venue itself was awesome, and I love the Killers, so that was definitely my favorite.
Nice.
Like,
All right, guys, well, let's get into the rest of the show now in just a moment. We'll play this week's edition of Be My Guest, and we'll share our hot takes. Then it's Stone Cold Locks time, where we'll finish with our college football previews by spotlighting the SEC, and we'll get into the pro game this week with a look at the AFC, where we will make some predictions, give a few prop bets we liked for that conference. We'll do the NFC next week. And finally, we'll wrap up with the top 5 that some might say will be an overrated one, guys.
sure.
Just saying.
See what you did
We'll
there.
get to that. Yeah. God, I'm so funny. And of course, we'll have plenty of fun and shenanigans along the way, including Pat finally explaining to all of us why we park on driveways and drive on parkways. So please stay tuned for that segment, everyone. But in the meantime, it is time for mine and yours favorite guessing game. That's right. It is time for Be My Guess. This is the game where you guys try to guess some sort of sports list. And Bill is always freaking right. And Pat, not so much. But 2 weeks ago,
I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling
I
bad.
predicted that when we did this topic that we're going to do now, Pat would actually do well. And I stand by that one. And you actually tied. You guys tied last week. It was more of a podcast specific one for Be My Guest, but you did tie. So
Well,
I'm
that was
feeling
the
some
titles.
momentum. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
title.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
feeling
that
some
was fun.
momentum here. And guys, we only have a couple more weeks of this segment for this season because soon we'll be bringing back Nailed It for the football season, which listeners, you're going to want to stay tuned for some very exciting news for that contest that we'll be launching here in probably, I think, 2 weeks. But we'll put this one on the shelf during football season, and then we'll bring it back after the Super Bowl when Nailed It is all wrapped up. So, Pat, okay. You have probably two more times to get that money back. You currently owe Bill 15 right now. I am telling you, I think you're going to do well on this topic. The topic is general sports greatness. Okay. So what's the bet?
Double or nothing, Bill.
Oh,
Shit.
wow.
Okay.
All right. I love
All
it.
right.
So you get to go first. Just remember, top 5 correct guess gets you 2 points, 6 through 10 is 1 point, and there's actually 6 through 11 because there's 2 tied for 10, and I'm gonna count both. So there's an extra point than normal on the board. Okay. Here is the question. Before you guess, I want to ask you guys like a rule if you want hints before we get started or not, but I'm going to ask a question. The question is, who has appeared on the most covers of Sports Illustrated? Okay.
Oh.
Who is it? The top 11 who has appeared on the most covers of Sports Illustrated. Now, I can break it down for you right now by like the number of sports. Like I can tell you X were in this sport, Y number was in this sport, or we can just let it ride right now and
Let's just
start
go.
guessing.
Let's just
Okay,
go.
Let it ride.
All right, go
Let
ahead, Pat.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Michael
baby.
Jordan is number 1 with
Nice.
50 covers. Number 1,
Wow.
50
That's
covers.
incredible.
Yeah, that is a lot. It's almost a year's worth.
Muhammad Ali.
Oh my
Fantastic.
God. You guys are way too good at this. I mean, I am very impressed. He's number 2.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Wayne Gretzky.
No.
Wayne Gretzky shockingly is not on here. That is
Oh,
not a
you're
bad
kidding
guess,
me.
dude.
The great
That is
one?
not a bad
Shut your
guess.
face. No way.
You shut your face. How about Eldrick Tiger Woods?
Yeah, but he's not top
Oh,
5.
I thought he
He's
was going to be
ninth.
3.
He's ninth with 20 covers.
Okay.
Give me Magic Johnson.
Nice
But
job.
look at Pat. Pat, see, this is why I know Pat's gonna win this week. Because he got one wrong and he rebounded
back.
strong.
Bounce back.
He bounced back. Top 5. Magic Johnson is number 5 with 23.
I told you, Eric, about how I used to have a stack of Sports Illustrateds in my room. My mom worked at a dentist's office, and she'd give me the Sports Illustrateds like a week later.
Okay.
And then and when I
Read
get
them
my
cover to
Playboy,
cover.
I'd paste a Sports Illustrated cover of it. Like I'd take off the Sports
Nice.
Illustrated cover and glue it on the Playboy. So it's like the 6th one down.
Oh my God, that's
Never.
awesome.
Yeah.
Clever.
Dude,
Genius move.
That's
Genius.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Pat or Bill, what do you got?
I'm going to say Serena Williams.
Another good guess, but no.
Oh, I was trying to go some woman angle on there. Shoot. All right. I need a bounce back.
What do you got, Pat?
Larry Bird?
No.
I keep thinking of like transcendent athletes, right? It's got to be somebody who.
I mean, every single one of these, when you hear it, you will be like, "Oh my God, how did I not think of it?"
All right, now I feel worse.
So the answer is yes. They're all
Oh.
they're all transcendent athletes, all of them.
Okay, I think I got my next
Yeah.
one. Duh.
How about
So
LeBron?
Yes.
LeBron is number 3.
Nice.
Really? Tom Brady.
Oh.
Tom Brady's number 4. Okay,
Yeah,
so there
gosh.
you go, guys. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so we have the top 5 already.
You have top 5, and you
Top
have
5,
number
yeah.
9 at Tiger Woods. So you have 2 tied at 6, and then number 8, and then 2 tied at 10. So you have 5 left, but all 1-pointers now. And you guys are tied 4-4 right now.
All right,
10
give me a
seconds.
countdown. Yeah, give me a
10
countdown.
seconds. 5 seconds.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, right.
I just don't
Nope.
like it. No.
All right,
like
Pat.
it.
Come on, brother.
Oh, but I
you
did
got
think
him
of a
against
better
the
one.
ropes. You got to let's put this home right now, man.
Is it Ken Griffey Jr.?
Failed.
That is actually a good guess, but no.
Wow.
Nope.
Okay. West Coast bias, or East Coast bias, I should say. How about Peyton Manning?
Thank you.
Oh, that was my other one.
Peyton Manning snuck in. He's tied for
No!
10th. Tied for 10th.
I
With
said Joe
8
Montana, and I'm like,
Those
oh,
are the
no.
2. Damn it.
18 covers. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Ah,
right.
shit.
I'm back.
Reggie Jackson.
Mm. I see where you're going with that.
Mr.
But no.
October. No love.
Nothing?
No.
Give me Bryce Harper.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
No.
Yeah. I just knew that he was just talked about and he was on it as like a high school kid, which I thought was kind of amazing.
All right. Here's a hint. There are 4 remaining people. 3 of them are NBA players, and 1 is a golfer.
Okay. Shaq.
Shaq is correct.
Kobe.
Yeah.
In the back with the jack.
4-3. You got it. Yes, Kobe is correct. So there's
I
1
thought of him
NBA
earlier.
player left, and there is 1 golfer.
One golfer.
Left. 1
All
NBA, 1 golfer, and it is Bill 4, Pat 3. So Pat, you need this, and then Bill could go for the win. I mean, we are building.
I only
drama.
have
This
3.
should
Are
be
you sure about
televised.
that?
Yeah.
Might need an audit.
Yeah. You've had a few. I can audit it. I can make an on-air apology next week if I'm wrong.
All right. So we got 1 golfer, 1 basketball player. The golfer, let's go, Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, baby.
That's what I
was hoping you were
correct.
going to guess PG or NBA because I knew it was Jack.
This is interesting because this is probably the last one I would have guessed too.
Shoot. I'm trying to think if it's like new era or I'm going to go Barkley.
You lose.
No.
I just thought his like popularity might.
I'm going to
landed him on
give
the
you
cover.
each one more guess, and then the game is over. Right now, Pat has 4, Bill has 3. So if Pat misses and Bill gets it right, then Bill will win. But that's the only way that Bill can win.
Kevin Garnett.
No.
Mm.
All right. You have 1 guess, Bill. This is it.
Oh, just the latest transcendent players. It would, gosh. Kevin Durant. I don't like it, but Kevin Durant.
You're really gonna be mad at yourself. Not only was this guy an incredible NBA player, one of the best of all time. I think I argued one time he is the second best after Jordan. But he was a great actor. I mean, he can play a pilot and make you think he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is correct. The Sky.
I would have not guessed that in like 10 more guesses.
No, you don't think of him much. I mean, he was super popular, but when you think of that era, I mean, he was mostly before even that era, but you think of Magic, you think of Larry, then you start to get into MJ. It's hard to think of Kareem, but man, he was good.
Yeah. A little surprised Larry Legend didn't make it.
Yeah.
That was a good.
I could find out, but I don't have. Peyton and Shaquille were tied for 10th at 18 covers, and I don't know how many the other ones have. But I mean, just Jordan had 50 covers. Muhammad Ali was number 2 at 40. I mean, so I don't know. That's a lot. That is a lot. So yeah, that one I've been really looking forward to doing that one for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So
that was
a good one.
We got to do when did you say, Eric? When did Sports Illustrated start?
I did not say. I think it started in the 50s, 60s, though. Yeah,
it was that long ago. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It was definitely in the
50s. Yeah,
Lou Alcindor might have been on there. Before Kareem. Right. I mean, if there was a little UCLA tie and then that.
Got it. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm sure he was on it when he was Lou for UCLA for sure. Yeah.
Nice work,
Pat.
Guys. Back to 0.
Yeah, good job. Good. Hey, congrats, Pat.
Nice.
I love
He's on
it,
the
man.
board.
I did not like you. You're off the schneid. Yeah. Thank goodness.
Nice work.
All right. Well, guys, let's get into hot takes. Yes, that's right. It is time for Sandman Sports Hot Takes. And 2 weeks ago, we thanked Mike's Hot Honey for their sponsorship in year 1. And we teased who would be the new sponsor. And we are pleased to announce that our Hot Take segment will now be brought to you by Double Take Salsa. This company is owned by longtime CMA Nation member Bernie Dallin, who Bill has actually talked about on this podcast before. I've never met him personally, but I've corresponded with him many times over the years, and he's just a great guy. I'll read the official copy in a moment, but Bill, anything you want to say about Bernie or this freaking awesome salsa?
Well, Bernie hails from Pat's neck of the woods. He's an Edina guy, and he was a mortgage broker for years, was miserable, hated it, and just took a big chance. He decided that he was going to make craft salsa, and he was going to do it in Minnesota. And he has launched this company, Double Take Salsa, along with his wife, Adina, and it's just the best, you guys. I mean, it's cool to see a buddy, take that big leap and have a business be successful. But I'm not even just shilling for this guy's product because it's my buddy. It is awesome salsa.
It's really good.
And this hot sauce right here, this sweet habanero one, if you guys can see that if you're watching on YouTube, is phenomenal. It's good on so many things. I mean, I go through this stuff like probably no other condiment. So it's phenomenal. I'm happy for Bernie. He's a great dude, and I love the guy, and his salsa is fantastic. So go try it.
Yeah, we got some a few years ago. He was running a promotion and ordered some and gave some to some friends of ours, and they were just like, "Holy crap, where'd you get this?" So yeah, it's really really good.
Ooh.
What's
Nice.
there to say about the best condiment in America? Double Take is craft salsa and hot sauce built on one promise: flavor first, heat second. Their salsas and sauces are packed with bold, fresh ingredients that hit you with flavor up front. Then the heat sneaks in and makes you do a double take. If you love salsa or consider yourself an aficionado, you have to try this product. Find them online at doubletakesalsa.com and follow along on Facebook and Instagram. Because the only thing better than one Sydney Sweeney would be double Sydney Sweeney. And the only thing better than regular salsa is the very best out there, Double Take Salsa. All right, my friend Pat, get us started. It is hot take time.
Guys, well, let's first talk about Scotty Scheffler. We got to do it. I mean, he hasn't finished outside the top 10 in the last 13 weeks.
I mean, that's
his
incredible.
chip. I got to watch Sunday a little bit. I watched the last 9 holes, and his chip on 17.
Oh,
it was legendary. I mean,
all time.
This guy is a snowball rolling downhill at the moment, and I'm actually starting to like him a little, not more than a friend, but I don't root against him anymore. So I'm no longer rooting against him. I'm converting to Scheffler insanity. But then I heard his interview about how it's insignificant to the purpose in his life, and I was like, oh, I'm almost out again.
Here we go.
You got to stop with these interviews, buddy.
Yeah.
My other hot take, I know I've talked about this before, but it's just so funny. Like, I'm in the hotel. Obviously, I'm living the hotel life this month, and John Wick comes on Spanish on the Spanish channel. So I was like, all right, I've seen this before, but I kind of want to watch it in Spanish. Like, "Hola, soy John Wick. ¿Cómo estás?" And like it's all this stuff. But again, so I turned it in, and this fight scene is just too much. I mean, he's in a house. There's 17 guys either coming at him to shoot him or stab him with a knife, and they're coming one at a time. They're like the most polite killers, like, no, after you go, but like, I can't wrap my mind. I know you're supposed to suspend your disbelief and it's just a movie, but like, you guys got to go all at once. You can't go one at a time. And if you're the guy, like if you're like one of the lower rung henchmen who are like coming through the door last, like, the guy who probably gets dumped on by everybody else in the henchman group, and they're like 0 for 15, and you're obviously not the first guy they're sending through the door, dude, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You got no chance. Anyway, that's the hottest take you're going to hear today. And finally, for me, football is here, and I can barely contain my excitement. So I'm just so ready to get into football season. It's
dude, we're 3 days, 4 days away from kickoff with, Iowa State and
Dublin.
Kansas State, I
In
think, is
Dublin.
kind of the big one
Yeah.
this weekend. I mean, it's just 6, 7 games, but yeah, can't wait, dude.
It's
I will
here.
be watching.
Crazy.
It's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome.
I am so curious to see JJ McCarthy this year. He's your Michigan boy. He's your Viking starting quarterback. I cannot wait to see this kid play
I think
football.
he and Arch Manning are the two that you're like,
Yeah.
we just don't know. It could be really great,
Yeah.
or it could be,
Yeah.
but it's exciting to have
100%.
those two options for sure.
I mean, we are just at the precipice, boys. It is like I haven't even really fully wrapped my brain around the fact that football's starting. I don't think so. It's just so fun, and we just have so much stuff coming, and it's going to be a blast talking about it every week with you guys. So my hot takes. I don't know if you guys saw the MLB Players Weekend. I love this stuff. I love that they get to show. You see where they do have like their bats and then their cleats, or
I saw
they get
Cal
to-
Raleigh's catchers.
Do you see that with all of his
equipment.
teammates,
Yeah,
little league
yeah.
cards?
Yep.
That was so cool.
That was kinda
What
cool.
a cool touch. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I just love that. Seeing their personalities come out, tributes, honoring people. I saw Randy Arozarena for the Mariners. His bat was a pencil. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just like
I think a
just
couple
thought it
guys
was
had
cool.
that. I think a couple
Did
guys
they
had
have
that.
the pencil bat? Yeah. Anyway, it was pretty cool. I was wondering if you guys heard the news on the possible realignment that Rob Manfred talked about this weekend. And I was just going to highlight, either of you guys hear this?
No, I have not heard about it.
No.
I'd love to hear
Okay.
about it. I always get fascinated by realignment.
It's
Seriously.
going to be, okay. I didn't know if you were just giving me shit.
No.
But talking about our three beloved baseball teams. Okay. So here's Pat's. It's the West Conference, Midwest Division, Cubs, White
Brewers,
Sox, Brewers, Twins.
like it.
Right?
Four.
Pretty cool.
That'd be great.
Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, and Twins.
Twins.
The Cubs and White Sox would be in the same. Wow.
Yeah, but
so
wouldn't
they
that
would
be
go.
kind of
So
electric?
wait, they would go away from the American and National League.
So they're talking about
They're called
complete
Western
realignment.
Conference.
Yeah, an Eastern
I
Conference.
don't know if I like.
It's okay.
That.
Hang with it for a second though, because I'm with you as a purist. I think this is all going to make our generation like vomit in their mouth a little bit, right? Like it's just like, whoa, wait, we are talking about major realignment.
Yeah.
So the Reds pyramid, you ready?
Yeah.
Reds,
The Guardians.
Guardians,
Tigers,
Blue Jays,
Kansas City, and who?
Blue
If
Jays.
you had said
Blue
Pirates,
Jays?
if you
the
had said
North
Pirates,
Division, Division.
Toronto. It doesn't really do for. I mean, whatever. You get used to it after all. I love the
Yeah.
Guardians. I love the Tigers. I have always
Yeah.
actually wanted
sense,
the
right?
Reds to play. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I mean,
How about
I
this?
think it's got to be Blue Jays or Pirates, but the Pirates with the Phillies makes more sense and all that. So yeah, I get it. The Blue Jays are kind of out there. They're close to Detroit. And that makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes some sense. It would definitely be weird, but
I mean, the Twins used to be in the division with the Brewers. You know,
back in the day, when the Brewers were in the AL.
Brewers were one of the rare ones that moved. Yeah. Well, and the Seahawks moved.
Seahawks.
Too.
I was just gonna say, Seahawks
yeah.
went from AFC to NFC, which was so weird.
It's weird. It's
for
so
us
weird.
as fans.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but now you don't even think about it.
No.
A year
now
later, you don't even think about it.
It's just
right.
No.
What about the Mariners?
So check out the Mariners, and this is just kind of the crazy part: is these are the four teams closest, three other teams, I suppose, closest to Seattle: Las Vegas, Colorado, San Francisco. Colorado in the Pacific Coast Division just feels weird, doesn't it? I mean, that just feels weird. But those are the closest teams to Seattle, which is
Anaheim, LA, and Arizona,
Padres,
and the Padres.
Those will be in one. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's all about proximity.
It's
all about proximity.
Yeah. I don't mind any of that. I just why do you have to go away from the American National League? Like why can't you just call those? Why do you have to call it Western Conference or Eastern Conference?
Yeah, that feels goofy to me as well.
Yeah,
I thought so too. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting because to me, he talked a lot about looking after the players, the amount of travel on the Seattle Mariners players compared to everybody else in the league is astronomical. Now, I'm not saying that just because I'm a Seattle fan. It's just that's the truth. I mean, we're stuck way up in the corner and we
Yeah.
have no close geographic rivalries. And so it is interesting to think about it. Anyway, I just thought I'd float it out there for you guys.
No,
I
that's
thought it was
awesome.
kind of
That's
interesting.
fun, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Last two real quick, and I'll kick it over to you, Bierman. Pat already mentioned it, but Scotty. I mean, are you freaking kidding me with that chip on 17 when I have Bob McIntyre in the Calcutta? It is absolutely one of the most vicious gambling daggers that anyone has ever thrown on my head in the history of sports and Bill gambling on sports. It was absolute so clutch. He's over in the shit. And then McIntyre hit a great shot that ends up going over the green. So I'm like, okay, if we can just somehow get Bob Mack up for a par here, up and down, which he did, which was so clutch, Scotty might bogey from there. And that's even what the announcers were saying. And then he just freaking rolls in this 55-foot chip. I mean, it's just legendary stuff. Anyway, kudos to Scotty.
Cold.
Stone cold.
Yep.
So cool. Last thing, preseason football sucks so hard. We've talked about this.
Terrible.
We know this. It's the worst. Why do I every single season get enamored with some third string running back or some fifth string wide receiver or our offensive line is going to be good this year or whatever the case may be? We all know this as sports fans. Don't pay attention to it. It's meaningless. But every year I'm sucked in on the Seahawks, you guys. Sucked into the Seahawks. They look so good in preseason.
Yeah.
And it's meaningless. So I'm just saying, PSA, warning to everybody, ignore preseason.
I watched Bengals played last night. Burrow's been playing a little bit. Burrow's playing in the preseason.
I'm going to talk a little bit about that when we get
Yeah.
into the AFC. I like what I'm seeing, and things
He
are
was
different
running
than
for
they
his
normally
life a little bit, Bierman, at the beginning when he got
Well,
sacked on that crazy play, and I'm like, oh my God, don't get hurt.
Yeah, well, that would be awful. That would be awful, but yeah. Yeah, all right, guys. So I wrote about this in the six pack, so I'm not going to belabor it, but I do feel like I need to mention it here as well. The Michigan sign stealing saga is finally over, and I'm glad we can put this fucking thing to bed. Most important thing to me was that Michigan keeps its wins, its 2023 championship, and there is no postseason probation. Biggest punishment was certainly to the pocketbook, which a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at because they'll say it's just money, tons of money there. I don't disagree, but this is big money, guys. I mean, this could be upwards of $30 million when it's all said and done, especially when you factor in that for the next. So there's no postseason ban, but any money they earn from the postseason in the next 2 years, they don't get any of it. They don't get a dime of it. It does not go to Michigan.
Who gets it?
I think the Big Ten, like all the other teams in the Big Ten, I would imagine.
Nice.
It's a great question, but I believe that's where it goes. So that really is a massive hit. And please, all of my idiot Buckeye compadres, please stop with all the championship doesn't count because they cheated line. First of all, look at what Michigan did after the scandal broke. They still dominated. They crushed everyone in front of them, including you idiots down in Columbus. Second, the NCAA is the courtroom here in this situation. They issued their sentence. Michigan will serve it. And in our system, that means justice has been carried out. Why should this be any different? Yes, they stole signs. I think the impact, frankly, has been overstated, and the punishment has now been handed down. Michigan's going to survive it. It's time for everyone to move on. All right. I'm going to stick with the Big Ten, guys, on my next one. I have to rant for a minute. Seriously, guys. Big Ten. What the fuck are you thinking? What are you doing here? Okay. Apparently, the conference is reportedly tossing around the idea of blowing up conference championship games and replacing them with a mega college football playoff with 24, possibly even 28 teams. Oh my, for the love of God, please stop the madness. We just went to 12 last year. And to be honest, I wasn't even thrilled about that. I think it will. What's that, Pat?
12's plenty. 12's good.
Yeah, that's exact. I think it will work at 12. Frankly, I liked 4 better because it just made the regular season matter so much more than it does now. For example, we talked about this a couple weeks ago or last week, I think. This year we get Ohio State versus Texas, number 1 and 2, game of the year right off the bat. First time number 1 and 2 have opened the season together. Most hype games of the entire season, and guess what? It's gonna be fun to watch, but it doesn't really matter in the whole scheme of things. Both teams, unless something crazy happens, are gonna still make the playoffs, and both teams are gonna have a chance to make to win it all. It's just it takes away all the drama that we used to have. And now imagine a 24 or 28 or 32 team playoff. Tell me what single game during the regular season would actually matter then? You could lose 3, 4 games easily and still be in. There's no tension, no drama, and the beauty of what made this sport so awesome for so long would be gone. So, seriously, Big Ten, I love you, but let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Let's give the 12-team playoff a chance to breathe. Let's learn from it, and let's just enjoy this for a while before we start just really damaging the game that we all love. All right. Well, it is now time to get into our Stone Cold Lock segment. Today, we will finish with our college football conference previews. And today is going to be all about the SEC. Then we'll get into some NFL predictions this week, focusing on the AFC, where we will pick each division winner and each of us will share out 2 of our favorite prop bets out there related to players or teams or future specific to the AFC. But first, let's get into the SEC, guys. As a reminder, I'll ask 5 questions. Who do you think is going to win the conference? Best long shot bet to win it? Most interesting over under win total, player to watch, or best Heisman candidate, best game of the year in conference or out of conference. Real quick, SEC, how did it shake out last year? Georgia defeated Texas in overtime 22-19 to claim the championship, and Mississippi State was the worst team in the SEC, finishing 2-10 and 0-8 in conference play. All right, Pat, who do you think is going to win the SEC in 2025?
I mean, look, this is the conference number 1, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the best of
That's
the
why
best.
we've saved
It's
the
like
best
it's like
for
a
last.
mini NFL. For me, it's not so much who I think is going to win. It's almost like who I'm kind of hopeful that this Archie Manning kid is the real deal, and I feel like Sark is going to take Texas to the title. And I don't know. I mean, you could pick 5, 6 teams and it'd be like, oh, yeah, that's a good choice. But I'm gonna go with Texas for now. Yeah,
I love it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
Yeah,
What do you got,
I
Bill?
love it.
Yeah.
I'm going Bama. I think this is actually a little bit of a stretch, but they're at plus 400. I
You
think
love Kalen DeBoer.
I love Kalen DeBoer,
yeah,
right? I mean, I think we get attached to these guys. You know, the Church of Signetti. You love your
Yeah.
Lance
Yeah,
Leopold. I just love Kalen DeBoer. I think he's the best coach in the SEC, and I think what you're going to see is that they're going to take a big leap forward, even though they lost Jalen Milroe. I think they're going to take a big leap forward this year. I think they have not probably they have the best O line and D line, and you stack up the talent and the trenches every single year. You let Kalen get one more year comfortable with his players, his system. They have one tough road game this year. It's at Georgia, 9:27, and they don't play Ole Miss, they don't play Texas, and they don't play Texas A&M. To me, they have a great schedule. They've got great trench play. They're going to
yeah.
be the champs.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see it. It's very rare that Alabama has this little hype going into
Yeah,
any football season. I mean, this is probably the least hyped they've been. Even last year, people were hyping
yeah,
them just because, not so much hype, but very interested in them last year. I
yeah.
barely hear
I
them
think
talked about.
Kalen's
So,
probably on the hot seat too, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
he
yeah.
meets
I mean, yeah. Yeah. For me, this pains me because I just don't like Brian Kelly, and I think the game at Clemson to open the season is going to be pivotal for both teams. But I'm going with LSU. This team went 9-4 last
Wow.
year. They should have done better. They bring back 16 starters, including Garrett Nussmeier, who I think will be invited to New York for the Heisman ceremony. He's really good, guys. They play at Clemson and Alabama, which I don't love, but they do miss Georgia and Texas on the schedule. I honestly see flaws in the other teams projected ahead of them, like Georgia, Texas, and Alabama. So give me LSU as a surprise winner at plus 700. I do like the
Wow.
value.
Nussmeier, he's good.
Yeah,
He can
I
throw
like
it.
Nussmeier, man. I think Cade is going to win the Heisman, but I think Nussmeier is going to be right there.
Is this Nussmeier? Is this year 3 or 2 for him?
It's 3. I think this is 3.
This is 3.
You know, my
Okay,
buddy Keith. We should have talked to him about. We'll have to bring him back on. He's gone to LSU games with Nussmeier's parents. Like they've stayed in Airbnbs together. Like he knows them really well. I don't know that he knows Garrett, but he definitely knows the parents really well.
Wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Best long shot bet. Who do you like? Kind of maybe a team that has longer odds to win the conference.
I'm going with A&M. I just feel like they have a defensive mindset that, defense can win championships and defense can win a lot of games. So it's a mean looking defense, bringing back a lot of guys. So yeah, give me A&M as a long shot.
God, you're brilliant. Just brilliant, dude.
Super smart. That's what all my teachers said.
We might have got a little glimpse into Bierman's pick.
Maybe a twofer. Maybe a twofer.
All right. You guys know I love Kalen DeBoer, and I think I've also made it pretty clear that I'm not the biggest Lane Kiffin fan. But my great buddy Mike Carr, right there in Minnesota, Prior Lake, he grew up in Bloomington with Lane Kiffin and was neighbors with him, and so spent a ton of time in his backyard playing football. And Monty Kiffin was a great mentor and neighborhood dad, if you will, to Mike Carr. And Mike just, unfortunately, Lane's mom just passed away, and so Mike traveled down to her service, and he told me that Lane's a changed man. He's off the sauce. He's been sober for a long time. He's got his priorities, figured out, and the guy could always coach football. I mean, we all know that. And so I thought at plus 11,000, I'm going to ride Lane to
1,100.
Possibly
1,100.
So 1,100. What did I say? 11,000?
11,000. Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
11 million.
11,000 would be even better. But yes, 1,100. Thank you. And then, I just don't think it's crazy that they could win the SEC. I mean, they're at Kentucky, they're at Oklahoma, they're at Georgia. I think they're going to win at least 2 of those 3. So
they're good.
They've got a chance. And I took them in the NCAA teams draft.
Yeah, it's a good pick. They could. They're one of those teams that I think could. They could have a bad year or a really good year. Like I'm just not sure, honestly. But I think they're worth taking a flyer. To me, none jumped out at me. I just think the SEC is so tough to predict. But I will take Texas A&M at plus 1,500. They bring back 15 starters, and we talked about coaches. And actually, it's funny. I actually think Mike Elko, coach at A&M, he reminds me of Kalen DeBoer a couple years ago. Like nobody really knew him, but he was, other than like, you'd read some things like this is an up and comer. You got to keep your eye on this guy.
Yeah.
And then bam, he took Washington to just unprecedented heights and almost won a natty. And now he's at Alabama. This Elko kid, or I don't think he's a kid, but this Elko guy, he is a really good coach. He's a really good coach. And I think he's going to do something special at A&M in his second. I think this is his second year there. All right. Most interesting over under win total. What do you got there, Pat?
I went with Oklahoma 7.5.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could go over. Give me the Oklahoma going over.
They just have such a tough schedule. But
the schedule's tough, but that could be another sneaky team that, that's the problem. That's the thing with picking these is it's such a good conference. There's so many good teams in that conference, but I don't know. I like the what's the quarterback's name? The kid that transferred
Johnny
over.
Mateer.
Johnny Mateer.
Yeah, John Mateer.
You know,
Yeah, he's good.
If he's as good as people say, they could sneak up into the 8-9 win territory. So,
yep.
Totally agree. Yeah, Bierman grabbed him in our NCAA teams draft, and I was giving him props at the time. I thought it was a steal. I think that's a great pick. But for me, the most interesting one was I just talked about him, but Ole Miss over 8.5. I love their schedule, and I just feel like they are going to get to double-digit wins this year. So at minus 125, all day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I live 90 minutes from Lexington. I have a lot of UK friends. I like Mark Stoops. He's done a great job in his 13 years there. This team was horrible before he came on. He built the foundation of a solid UK football team. But Wildcat fans, it's time to start counting the minutes to Midnight Madness because your football team is going to be really bad. They went 4-8 last year. I see no improvement from that. Their over-under is 4.5. There's no way you're getting 4 wins, let alone 5 from this schedule. So take the under. Listen to the stretch, guys. Mississippi, then Eastern Michigan. They'll win that one. Then at South Carolina, at Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, at Auburn, Florida. I mean, yuck, 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 yuck.
That's
Give me
SEC
the under
football, man.
immediately. Yep. All right, player to watch, best Heisman candidate. Who you got, Pat?
Give me Arch Manning. I'm just gonna buy in.
Why not?
Yeah, I think there's just
know?
a few, and Arch. Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, he's awesome. All right, what do you got, Pat or Bill?
For me, I'm sticking with my Ole Miss theme. I'm going with Austin Simmons. He's a sophomore quarterback, takes over for Jackson Dart. The kid's athletic.
He's going to be good.
He throws a good ball, and you put him in Lane Kiffin's offense, and you know the guy's going to put up video game numbers. So,
yeah, for me, as I mentioned earlier, I like Garrett Nussmeier as the best quarterback in the conference, the best chance of the Heisman. But I'm with Pat in terms of what player I want to watch the most. It's got to be Arch Manning at Texas. I'm just really curious to see how this kid plays now that the keys to this entire offense and really the entire program has been handed over to him. So, best game of the year. What do you got there, Pat?
I know we're all going to have the same one. It's got to be the first game, Texas, Ohio State, right?
Phenomenal.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I don't have that one, but that's
I don't either.
That's a great game.
1v2 first week. You're
I
gonna
had
give
that.
Awesome.
I had that. I think I picked that for the Big Ten one, so I did not pick that one for this one. But it's
same.
obvious. That's a big one.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. This is going to be a blast. For me, I had mentioned it earlier, but give me September 27th, Georgia versus Alabama. I think it's a classic. It's going to be a blast to watch those two teams battle. And what's interesting is in our SEC preview, not one of us has mentioned Georgia.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game that Pat just mentioned, Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, we've talked about, I think that's an interesting one. 2 of the 3 best rivalry games in the sport occur in this conference with Alabama, Auburn, and Oklahoma, Texas. I also could have picked Michigan visiting Oklahoma, but I'm actually going with Texas A&M visiting Texas in Austin for the final game of the year, November 29th. Guys, these teams and fan bases and cities absolutely hate each other. The whole A&M thing leaving for the SEC years ago, it just exacerbated that hate. Now they're both back in the same conference. This game is just is must watch for me. Texas won by 10 last year, but as I said earlier, I'm bullish on A&M this year, and I'm not high on Texas as many are. So I think this one's going to be interesting, and at the end of the year, it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure.
Kid to look out for too that we didn't talk about. Lenora Sellers, quarterback.
Oh yeah, Lenora Sellers. Somebody. Oh, it was Hootie. Hootie of Hootie and the Blowfish just made his picks, and he picked South Carolina to win the national championship.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him at all, but I think that could be a sneaky pick there.
Yeah, he's good. All right, guys, well, let's shift to the NFL and the AFC specifically. Like I said, we'll get to the NFC next week, but let's break down each division. We'll go through these relatively quickly, but let's start with the AFC East. The Bills are the favorite at minus 330. Then you got the Pats at plus 475, Dolphins and Jets rounding it out. Who do you got here, Pat?
Bills Mafia. This just doesn't even seem to be a
This
contest.
One's pretty easy. Yeah, pretty easy.
Chalky, but give me the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, they got Josh Allen. The Buffalo's won this division 5 straight years. Yeah, their defense is actually the offense gets all the headlines. Their defense is better than they get credit for. They were above average. I think they were 11th in total defense last year. This team is really good. So Buffalo for sure. All right, AFC North. Ravens are the favorite at -170. Bengals are right there, +280, and then the Steelers and Browns are pretty far behind. Who do you got here, Pat?
I went with the Bengals, and I feel like the Bengals, if the defense can just make one play, that offense is going to roll. And
That's it.
I
You hit it.
feel like they just need to make one play, and then I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a down year for the Ravens. Believe it or not.
Go ahead, Eric. Yeah, jump in there.
No, I mean, that's literally
train.
what I'm going to say. So the Bengals, I mean, their offense is going to be the best offense in the NFL. Their defense does scare me. I don't like that they haven't signed Hendrickson. I don't like what I'm seeing in the preseason. I do like the Shamar Stewart rookie kid, but they just need to be good enough, because their offense is going to be incredible. But the silver lining here, guys, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, is every year Zach Taylor's been here, this team does not play. Burrow plays 1 snap, 5 snaps, maybe at most. He's getting in, and then guess what? They always start the season 0-4 or 1-3. They always start the season sluggish.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor's finally learned. He's playing his starters. Burrow played into the second quarter last night. And by the way, last night was the first preseason win for the Bengals. And I know the preseason doesn't matter, but it's their first preseason win since 2022.
Oh, wow.
I mean, think about that. So it matters in the sense that they're getting some playing time for their players, which is Houday, baby, Houday. It's going to translate to a faster start, which is going to be helpful. And I just do think I think the Ravens are just a little bit going to be a little bit down. I love Lamar, but I'm not sold on the rest of the team. Their defense is always solid, but so I'm going with the Ravens or with the Bengals.
I love the value of the Bengals, but I just am not quite ready to turn the page on Baltimore.
I get it.
I just think you have to, and again, it's chalk, but Lamar is the MVP in my mind. So that's going to be a big problem. And you guys both highlighted a little bit of the negative side of the Bengals, which is just the defense has been a little bit shaky. I just don't think you're going to see that from the Ravens. I think the defense is going to be top notch again.
Mark Andrews is out, right? They got rid of Mark Andrews, though.
No,
did he retire finally?
Or is he still there? They still have him? Okay.
No,
I thought because he dropped that pass, they killed. They
someone killed him.
This isn't soccer, Pat. All right. So for the AFC South, Texans are +110, Jaguars are +300, Colts and Titans rounded out. Who do you got in this one, Pat?
I went with the Texans. Nobody's going to be a problem for them in this division. Great D led by Stingley Jr., right? And Stroud will have a solid year. I think they kind of had a sophomore slump, but he'll as far as his numbers, I mean, the team did pretty well. So if he kind of had a slumpish year offensively, if he can just bring that up a little bit, and their D is still solid, I think they'll be pretty good again this year.
I mean, this division is complete trash.
Yeah,
it's just. I mean, maybe Bierman will give us some wisdom here, but it has to be Houston, right? I mean, I didn't see anybody else that was going to be in the mix.
You guys are so cute, so cute. No, it's not going to be Houston. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. So I didn't share this stat with the Bengals. I had it, but I didn't share it. But Jacksonville went 3-10 in 1-score games last year, including 1-4 in field goal games. That is bad luck that usually regresses back to average the following year. Just fixing that swing itself is going to bring multiple wins their way. They have a much healthier roster in 2025. Heather Lawrence missed almost 7 games, 6.5 games. Team lost 14 more starter games than in 2023 last year. Healthy Lawrence plus a deeper defensive front. They're dangerous. I love new offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who comes in, I think, from Tampa. He brings balance. This run game system that he loves, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, they're going to finally take some much needed pressure off of Lawrence and his arm. Only 6 opponents that they play had more than 10 or more wins last year. 4 of those come at home, so a much easier schedule. And I think the Texans are due for aggression. They went 13-6 in one-score games the last 2 years, which to me is unsustainable rate. And they just fired their offensive coordinator last year after back-to-back division titles. So that tells me there's something not great there. So we're going Jags all over it. All right, AFC West. Chiefs are the favorites at -115. Broncos
let's
are
go.
plus 250.
Bring it, boys.
Chargers plus 300. Raiders plus 2,200. All right, what do you got, Pat?
I don't know. Something was speaking to me this morning, and you know how much I hate the Chiefs and the Chiefs fatigue.
No,
it's coming. Here it comes.
But don't count out Mahomes ever, and he's probably angrier than ever right now.
I'm counting him out. What are you going to do about it?
Watch the bounce back.
I'm counting him out.
Watch the bounce back. They got some players. Pacheco,
whatever.
Kelsey had a bad year last year. I think he's ready to just go out. Like, I think he wants to finish strong.
Gonna be making records with his girlfriend.
And I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of the Chiefs. I would never do this because I'm such I usually bet with my heart, but I'm finally gonna bet with just history tells me. Like, I used to do this with Tom Brady. I'd be like, oh, fucking Tom Brady again, and I would always bet against him, like I'd bet with my heart. I'm not going to do it. I'm going with the Chiefs. Final answer.
It's probably the smart money.
Well, you're going to bet wrong. That's awesome. Okay, what do you got, Bill?
I'm going with Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. So
now we're talking about a smart man. Thank you, Bill.
So
thank you for
here's the deal.
The insights that our listeners deserve. Continue on.
I feel so much pressure when I come up with my picks because I just don't want to be just Spearman. Just there's so much pressure. I can't handle it.
How about Pat? He's going to be rooting for the Chiefs all year for his pick. And he's going to hate himself every week for rooting.
He won't.
And I want the Broncos. And I wanted to say the Broncos. I want to say the Broncos.
Yeah.
My heart wants to say the Broncos, but my head's like, you've been burned so many times by great players. And great players make it happen. And Mahomes, as much as you can hate him, he's I bet he does it.
You also just don't bet against streaks. Like we've all said this in the last year. You don't bet against streaks, and here I am kind of going against the Chiefs' greatness. But and here's the other thing, mea culpa to all my Husky fans out there. Bo Nix is actually good. I think that's the thing, and he's going to take another step. I think Sean Payton. I mean, you can give Andy Reid all the flowers. The guy's been a great coach. But Sean Payton is a really, really good football coach too. And I just feel like this Denver team is ready to take that next step. And we'll see, of course, but I'm banking on Sean Payton and Bo Nix taking them to the title. Yeah. I should say the AFC West title.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This team went 1-6 in one-score games last year. I think they're going to flip that. Their defense is incredible. Top 4 defense last year. They're strong on both sides, both lines, offensive and defensive line in the trenches. They're strong. Bo Nix, year 2 jump. I love Bo Nix. I'm going to have him in many of my fantasy leagues. He already set rookie passing records. He got him into the playoffs last year. It's another offseason under Sean Payton. I don't think the superstar leap is far out of question for this guy. I love Denver winning this division at plus 250. AFC winner, real quick. Who's going to be the AFC rep in the Super Bowl?
Bills.
Baltimore.
Definitely the Bills for me. I think, as I said, the Chiefs will be down, so they don't have to tangle with them at Arrowhead. So, yeah, we're going with the Bills. All right, let's talk about a couple prop bets in the AFC. Any prop bets jump out at you for our listeners? Pat, what do you got?
I talked about this a little bit earlier. Baltimore win total 11.5. I'm taking the under. I just feel that dip coming for them, and I don't know why. I just feel like it's just a feeling, just a hunch. And then the other one I have is it's Jets over win total 6.5. I'm taking the over. There isn't a lot of now hear me out. There isn't a lot of pressure now hanging over the team with the Rodgers circus gone. They're pretty good defensively, and I got a hunch Justin Fields to Garrett Wilson might be a nice combo. So
I
give me the over on that.
I do like that. I
I
do
do
think
too.
Justin Fields is actually going to be pretty good. And from a fantasy standpoint, I like both those players. Now, I don't know if it'll equate to wins, but that's not a bad, I could see them going over 6.5 for sure.
Yeah.
What do you got?
For me, I'm going to go, we just talked about it, but Denver over 9.5, I think is a lock. I think I just looked through their schedule. This team's not winning less than 11 games this year.
And guys, everyone listening, I want to, if you didn't listen last week, we played the week 1, the very first episode ever where Bill did his over under and shared the Seahawks was a lock 7.5, and they crushed it. So listen to this man. He knows his over under season week 1 bets, and I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your second one?
I love it. We talked about these guys as well, and you guys have them representing the AFC. The Bills over 11.5 all day.
Yeah.
This team's going to win 13 games.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Now, again, a couple of these are in division, so just bear with me. But at Jets, at Atlanta, at Carolina, at Miami, at Houston, at Pitt, at New England, at Cleveland. They might be 8-0 on the road.
That's a good schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, lock it down, Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean,
lock it. I'm going a couple prop bets, player bets. I'm going. So this one's kind of a twofer because they're both related, and I'm taking both of them. Guys, I have not been more excited about a rookie running back. I couldn't tell you when. Ashton Genty. I tried to trade. I tried to trade a lot for Bergeson. And he turned me down. And he's like, it's such a fair trade. He's like, this guy is a generational talent, which I agree with. I'm like, Dick, yeah, I know. That's why I want him. But over 7.5 rushing TDs and over 1,050 yards rushing. Are you kidding me? He's going to get those by freaking
7.5 TDs?
Yes.
That's
1050?
He's
RB1, right?
Wow. Yes, he's RB1. Pete Carroll's his coach.
Pete Carroll's
handed him the ball. College career. This guy, Pete Carroll might pass the ball on the 1 yard line when the game's on the line, but other than that, he's giving Genty the ball.
Too soon.
Their offensive line has been upgraded. I mean, guys, this to me is just a lock. It's a lock. So we're going with that one, both of them. And then real quick, so this guy was good to me last season, so I hate to do it, but Derrick Henry under 13.5 rushing touchdowns. Guys, that's a lot. He scored 16 last year, but this guy, he is young. He's not young. He's 31. That was the first time over 13.5 since 2019. When he scored 16 last year. He had a 325 carry workload. That is going to be hard to repeat at his age of 31. Historically, running backs who lead the league in touchdowns at the age of 30 or more drop 4 to 6 scores the following season. The Ravens, I think, are going to ease his workload to keep him fresh for the playoffs, meaning fewer carries in high leverage spots. I think you still have to worry about Lamar vulturing some TDs. I think Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell could siphon off a few goal-in spots. And frankly, I think this guy could still get injured. So to me, this one's kind of easy money. 13.5 is a lot of touchdowns. So we're taking the under on that. All right, guys. Well, let's get into our top 5. We are heading into the college and NFL seasons, which means the hype machines are already cranked up about who's going to dominate. I actually just saw a quote from Ed Orgeron that said Arch Manning is the best quarterback he has seen since Joe Burrow. So, yeah. The hype is in full force for sure, even before the season kicks off. So it got me thinking, who are the most overrated players, coaches, or teams of all time? I'm not saying these guys or programs are bad. Some even may have won championships. I'm just saying their reputations have blown way past the reality in our eyes. So basically, this is our chance to say, come on, they weren't that good. So it can be anyone. It can be a player, a program, a franchise, even a coach who gets way more credit than they deserve. All right. So Who you got? Pat, lead us off 5 and 4.
I would like to say that this list was difficult to do because as a spectator, we can't see all the little things these players do or what kind of impact they have on their teammates. So, but a few guys came to mind when you put this out. So this is another one of those top fives where 2 days from now, I'm going to be like, oh, dang, that's every once in a while we have those top fives where a week later I'm like, oh, I should have said so and so. But number 5, give me Eli Manning. Okay, Eli Manning.
Okay.
If he wasn't Peyton's brother, would we still think he was one of the greats? Okay, yeah,
Valid
I
question.
like
Valid question.
I do like Eli, and he's had, but I just remember him having a lot of ugly games and along the way, and I have him at 5 because I think people don't necessarily overrate him. You know what I mean? I mean, I think he kind of gets dumped on a
No, I
little
think
bit, but
yeah,
I
it's a
just
good one.
felt like he was kind of an okay player, and he helped kind of game manage his team to Super Bowls. But when I watch him, I always remember just being like I always thought of him as kind of a mid to upper
Totally.
tier quarterback, but not
Totally.
elite. You know what I mean? So that was my number 5.
It's a great one. Great one to start.
Here's my number 4. Troy Aikman as both player and announcer. Okay, another guy. So I know people dump on him as an announcer, but as a player, you think Troy Aikman was great, but he was surrounded by so much talent.
Yeah.
There was so much talent on that Dallas Cowboy team that you could have plugged anyone in there at the time at QB, and they probably would have still won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are solid, man. Pat's bringing it. I
Great.
love it. What do you got, Bill?
Great ones. For my 5 and 4, I went with players. So I'm starting with Broadway Joe Namath as my number 5. I feel like he really lived off of his flashy, off-field moniker, the furs. He famously predicted the Jets win in Super Bowl III, which they did. So I do give him props there. But check out these numbers, you guys. This blew me away when I was doing the research. In his career, Joe Namath threw for 173 touchdowns, 220 interceptions. His completion percentage was barely over 50%. His quarterback rating was 65.5, which barely puts him into the top 200. 200.
He's in the Hall of Fame?
And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
These are awful statistics. And late in his career, he suffered with injuries after injuries after injuries. And so I don't know how in the world this guy actually made it into the Hall. Shocking to me. So overrated. So that was my number 5. And then number 4, I'm going with somewhat similar, I think, to Pat's number 4 here. I'm going with Tony Romo. Very mediocre quarterback and severely mediocre on a totally overrated football team with the Dallas Cowboys. 2 and 4 record in the postseason. He had 6 fumbles and 2 picks, 8 total turnovers to 8 touchdowns. In the
you
postseason.
Said you were at that game where he missed, where he didn't
the butt fumble.
The whole, yeah.
No,
the extra
fumble.
point.
That was Mark Sanchez. That was Sanchez. But I was thinking about that. Yeah, that was amazing because then he almost ran that ball in after fumbling the.
Yes, that's right.
And then I don't remember who our DB was that chased him down. But in those 10 playoff years, in his 10 seasons where he was really the starter for the Dallas Cowboys, he made the playoffs 4 times. That's it. He was 78 and 49, not terrible in terms of his overall record, but he was only a 4-time Pro Bowler. He made one second team All-Pro. He led the league once in yards. He led the league once in touchdowns. He's just, he's not one of the greats. Not even close. Overrated.
Wow, you guys are bringing strong. I love both those. My number 5 is Carmelo Anthony. He was great in college. He won the title at Syracuse. But in the NBA, he never came close to sniffing a championship. He scored a lot, but he was pretty damn inefficient. He had a career field goal percentage under 45%. He had 0 MVPs. He never finished higher than 3rd in MVP voting, and he never made the All-NBA first team, ever. He only advanced past the first round of the playoffs twice in his career and had a stunning lack of postseason impact for someone with his hype. Defense was virtually non-existent. He built a brand as a superstar without really ever being a top 5, maybe top 10 player in the league at any point. So, and then my number 4. All right, this is a 2 for guys. I got to talk about one professional franchise and one college program that I think are both so overrated. And sorry, brother, but I got to start with Pat's ancestors and Notre Dame. Guys, they have not won a title since 1988. That is 37 years for those of you counting at home. Yet they are revered as a blue blood. Last year was the exception, but rarely can they stand toe-to-toe with other premier programs. They've had brutal losses against Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and others. Their stupid TV contract with NBC keeps them in the spotlight. It's inflating their perception versus what their actual on-field performance is. I will give them credit. They usually have top 10 recruiting classes, but shouldn't that have translated to at least one natty by now in the last 37 years? Stop living in the past, man. You guys are so much more remembered for Newt and the Golden Dome and Rudy and the Grotto and Touchdown Jesus than for actual modern football success. Overrated. And speaking of overrated, let's go into the pro game. Basically, it's the Notre Dame equivalent on the pro side, and this would be the Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders. They have this just win baby mystique, the black hole, Raider Nation, loyalty, but this team has done absolutely nothing for years. Guys, since 2002, that is 23 years. They've had 2 winning seasons. 2!
Wow.
They have been to 1 Super Bowl since 1983, which they lost in 2002. They have not won a Super Bowl in 42 years. But at least they got the Jamarcus Russell pick, right? Holy crap. This franchise is one of the biggest train wrecks in professional sports, yet they still have a national following, and they just seem revered by so many. So they're bad. Okay. What do you got for 3 and 2, Pat?
Marcus Allen was my favorite player growing up. I would jump over the couch with a football in my hand onto a pile of pillows. Yeah, that's true. And how dare you talk about the Irish that way? But
yeah.
Hey, my number 3 was
you told me Michigan isn't going to have a program last week.
Yeah, they're going to close their doors. Well, they're just out 30 mil, another 30 mil. So they will fold and close their doors, and everyone's going to go to Michigan State.
Good, and they'll still be better than Notre Dame.
But number 3, Joe Namath. I mean, Bill already went over everything. Yeah. The only other thing I would like to add, and one of the main reasons I put him on this list, is the Susie Colbert.
Susie Colbert. Dude,
I almost mentioned it.
I could kiss you right now.
Dude, that was the best.
I watched that live.
Susie may not have thought that, but it was funny to watch.
That was so funny. That was the best.
Dirty.
All right, number 2. This is a homer pick. Joe Mauer.
Oh, wow.
Joe Mauer. And look,
a lot of Twins
Joe Mauer is the second greatest athlete to come out of my high school. This is an unpopular opinion for Minnesota people. You guys didn't ask me who the best athlete ever to come out of my high school was.
Pat Clinton.
Yeah, that's right, Bill. Preach.
First thought, best thought.
But anyhow, he was such a good hitter in the Metrodome, but the Metrodome was like hitting off of concrete, and he would always knock the ball into the ground, and it would bleed through the infield because it was going so fast off the concrete, you know. And then we went to Target Field, and the grass slowed it down, and that kind of brought his average down a little bit. But he was so hyped, and he was supposed to be this St. Paul born kid to bring us to greatness, but he only had warning track power. If he had like 20 more feet in his bat, he would have had so many more home runs, but he never had home runs. No title was hard for us. Super friendly image too, which I me with Scotty Scheffler. I kind of like my sports stars that have a little bit of bite, a little bit of edge to them. And he's just a little too nice. And so I don't know. He's supposed to be the hero, St. Paul hero, but man, it pains me to say this, but Joe Mauer was overrated.
Yeah.
Is your number 1 a twin, Pat? You don't have to tell me who it is yet.
No, I don't have a number 1 yet. I'm still waiting.
Oh, okay.
As you
Your
guys
number
are
one's
going,
waiting.
I'm
Of course,
still
well,
thinking.
of course she doesn't.
So
You shut
I
your
don't know if
face,
you want to.
Spearman. All right.
I don't know if you want to borrow this
I'm gonna
one.
drive
but-
to Cincinnati tonight and
Good.
egg
Hey,
your
good. We'll go get
house.
some Skyline after you kick my ass. And we'll
No, I'm not gonna kick your ass. I was just gonna egg your house and TP your house. I'm not a violent man. I'm just a petty, vengeful man.
Pat, I don't know if you want to use this one, but this came
Okay.
up this week that the Twins are about to bring a guy into their Ring of Honor or their Hall of Fame, whatever it is, and his name is Corey Koski. Okay.
Yeah,
I am
he's
not
good.
joking you.
Canadian.
I'm not joking you. I told all my Minnesota buds, I'm like, I don't know who Corey Koski is.
Nah, they're just
Eric,
looking.
you?
They just need some reason to celebrate.
No.
But he was
Right.
He's third baseman. He's pretty good.
He's going into the Ring of Honor, and Eric and I have never heard of this guy. And we're
Corey
big sports fans.
You guys have never heard of Corey Koski? Corey
Yeah,
Koski's
yeah.
like a legend in Minnesota.
That's
The
bonkers.
guy.
Anyway, if you want to use that for your number one, go for it. Okay.
Sure. Corey
My number
Koski.
my number three is a program. So I went a little bit, maybe bending the rules a little bit, Bierman, but it's not a team necessarily. But this is the college football program of the Mormons, BYU. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely the most overrated program in the history of college football. In fact,
yeah.
I actually found in my research that they've been overrated 15 times in AP poll history since 1936 to 2024, the most of any college football team. They never play anyone of note, ever. Their schedule is a joke every single year, and yet they still find a way to lose to a 6-7 UCLA team in the Las Vegas Bowl every year. I mean, they are absolutely horrendous as in terms of program. Now, have they had a little bit of success? Lavelle Edwards. There's a couple other coaches since, and I can't think of their names, like Islander guys that are actually pretty solid coaches. So, yeah.
Their last national championship came in the same decade as Notre Dame's, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was Lavelle Edwards, right? And I think they might have split it with somebody.
No, they won. It was 1984. They beat Michigan in the Holiday Bowl to be undefeated, and I mean, Michigan wasn't great, but I just remember that was their final game.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so that's my number three. My number two, and I think this is a very beloved coach, but I have never quite understood it, and it's Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
You look at this guy, 139 wins, 69 losses overall. Okay, that's not terrible, right? That was with Tampa Bay and Indianapolis. He won a Super Bowl in 2006, but he was 9-10 in the postseason. He had Peyton Manning for all of those years in Indianapolis. That was 85 of his wins was really because of Peyton. I don't think it was because of Tony Dungy. I think he's terrible in the studio. He's terrible on air when he calls games. And I just have never quite understood why there's so much hype around this guy. And I think in part it's because he's a very religious man who is not afraid to talk about his faith. And kudos to him for being very faithful. But that doesn't make him a great football coach. I just don't understand it. So Tony Dungy's my number two.
No, I like it. So guys, my number three, she would also make my top five if we were doing hottest athletes ever. I got to go with Anna Kournikova.
Oh,
guys.
great
She
one.
never did anything
one.
on the court to warrant any tennis-related publicity.
It's
She
true.
never won.
Yep.
Never won a singles tournament. Not one. Her highest career ranking was number 8 back in 2000 for a short time. She did make 2 Wimbledon semifinals, but otherwise her career was defined by a lot of early exits in the Grand Slams. She won a couple majors with Martina Hingis in doubles, but that's doubles.
That doesn't count.
She had lots of posters, lots of commercials, lots of mainstream media attention, but she didn't have a lot of success on the court. So
dated
she's
in
my number 3.
Iglesias.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
was
my
that who
number
it was?
2, I can't believe I'm doing this. I hate to do this. But I have to go with the Michigan Fab Five as my number 2.
Oh,
Despite all the hype, swagger, cultural impact, they never won a national title. Yes, they did play in 2 straight NCAA title games, but lost both. Wait, time out. Is that right? Did they lose both? Oh, yeah, they did. Thanks, Chris Webber. There is no doubt they impacted the game with their baggy shorts, black socks, all the swagger, and the fact that they did have 5 incredible freshmen on one team. But ultimately, the wins and the championships never really matched the hype. Everyone our age, guys, knows the Fab Five. They can name at least 3 or 4, if not 5, all 5 of them, and yet they really produced nothing. And the big whipped cream on a turd was this: their final 4 appearances were later vacated due to NCAA violations. So officially, the resume is even thinner than what I just described. So, all right, what do you got
you
for number
ready?
1, Pat? Yeah.
All right, and this might be a 2, Pat, with Bill and I, but hear me out
Okay.
here, guys. My number 1 is Eric Bierman. He's got bad hygiene. He's racist against Irish people. His picks are never right. And
now we're just lying.
He did win,
guys,
nailed it.
You know, I'm not going to just make up a number 1. I don't have a number 1 today. I could only come up with
All right.
4.
I
If it's
gave you
not
Corey
there,
Kosky.
don't force it. All right, Corey
All right.
Kosky.
Yeah.
It's a 2.
Yeah.
It's a part A, part B. Part A, Corey Kosky. Part B, Eric Bierman.
Eric Bierman. Got it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And God,
he's not the best color, man. For nothing, guys.
I just can't wait to see Augusta National in person. I mean, it's just going to be phenomenal. So, yeah,
right.
I went with my number 1 is Jeff Fisher, longtime NFL coach.
Wow, what a blast from the past!
Yeah. Now, wait till you guys check this out. Okay,
no,
check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
16 years he spent with first the Houston Oilers, then became the Tennessee Titans. Never made a Super Bowl. 16-year run, never made a Super Bowl. In 16 years, he had 6 winning seasons. He still got 16 years. His playoff record was 5-6. He got 5 more years after that, somehow, with the Rams from St. Louis, who then became Los Angeles Rams. His overall record was 173, 165, and 1. He is absolutely the definition of mediocre. He's the definition of a coach that get the retread, that for some reason gets another chance, another opportunity when you probably have young coordinators and others that deserved a better shot. So Jeff Fisher was my number 1. And
dude, that's a great one.
He's the first one that came to mind because he was so bad when he was with the Rams, and the Seahawks just abused them for like 5 years in a row, twice a year. So
yeah, no, that I successfully forgot about that guy, but no. So my number 1, guys, is, you've mentioned them both. Roy Joe. This guy was a joke. I cannot believe he is in the Hall of Fame when you look at his stats. He made his legacy on one moment. He guaranteed a freaking win Super Bowl 3. Jets were double-digit underdogs.
Yeah, but he wore a fur coat.
Great.
Yeah,
but that is pretty much all he ever. So average, Bill talked about the 220 interceptions against 173 interceptions. His completion rate was 50%. Those are all stats. I mean, he'd be on the bench behind Daniel Jones with those stats. And he had a career-losing record.
Daniel Jones is starting.
Yeah, I know, which is good, I think, for if you have Michael Pittman. He finished with a 62, 63, and 4 record as a starter. So his teams were under 500 with him under center. I get that his charisma, his fur coats, his off the field lifestyle is what people think about, but
shocking.
Sadly, somehow Canton called his name, which to me is truly one of the great mysteries in sports. I got to know what type of pictures this guy had on the committee that year. I mean, I don't know how he got in the Hall of Fame.
Shocking.
It's shocking. Literally by far the most overrated.
What are Kenny Anderson's stats compared to Namath?
Way better. Way better.
And he's still waiting for the call, right?
Yeah, he's still waiting.
Still waiting for the call.
Dude, it's blasphemous.
Oh,
it really is.
It's
all right, guys. We are way over. So let's get into the pools spotlight. You got anything for that, Pat or Bill?
I mean, we just launched 28 pools out there, you guys. 28 pools. There may be a few more coming with different entry fees, but do yourself a favor. Go register if you haven't already. If you have registered already, it's the normal website. They're all there. If you have any questions, email me at bill@sandmansports.com. We've got a ton of new formats. We've got a ton of new features and functionality. I literally cannot wait for these things to start. And the feedback has been phenomenal. So don't wait. Get in there.
Go do it.
The
It's
deadline's
coming up.
going to come up quick on you. So
I
get in there and check them out.
I'm so excited. So excited. Well, boys, we are well on our way to a second great year now. Always so much fun doing this with you. And just as you mentioned, football kicks off here soon. College football, we said week 0 kicks off this weekend. So exciting stuff. Should be another great season.
And Eric, Nation, I said all those bad things about you. You guys renewed my contract for year 2, right?
It's funny.
No matter what,
I'm not quite dried yet.
I'm in for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I can say whatever I want now. Year 2 started.
Oh my gosh. Now, love it. Love doing this with you guys. Looking forward to another second year. CMA Nation, thank you as always for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. Be sure to check us out on social media and our website at cmansports.com and download our app if you haven't yet. Have a great weekend, everyone. Peace out and take care.
Good luck, everybody.